Welcome back to Crochet with Lulu. I'm Luann, your yarn host. Wanted to get on and say hello this afternoon and show you the beanie that I'm working on. A friend of a friend's saw the beanie that I had made her and another girl, and so she wanted one with pink on the top, and it looks flat, but it's just how I have it folded or turned. It's pink on the top and then black, and I just love this black. And then it has the ribbing at the bottom. That's the double crochet, front post double crochet ribbing. And then when I do a couple of rows of that ribbing, the double crochet and front post double crochet, I will do another single crochet row of pink on the very bottom, just to give it a little bit more punch of the pink color. I wasn't sure if she would like this pink better, or I almost called this a fuchsia pink, but the label said pink. So it's kind of, it's a lot darker than this one. But I've been working on beanies. This is the school colors beanie that I made a few weeks ago. And Sophie says hello. She's they have been playing, her and Bigsby, and they love their attention from their nanny. Now you go play with Biggs. They are so much fun. I wanted to do a tutorial, but it'll probably be, it more than likely will be Wednesday. I've not fully decided what I'm going to do yet. I know we're getting closer and closer to Christmas, so I will probably do some Christmas ornaments. I'm going to set my coffee, my ice cold. It's called Joe's Coffee. It's pumpkin spice, and it is delicious. But the tutorial, I know we're getting closer to Christmas, and I want to get prepared because I love giving the little ornaments out. And then if we get invited to lunch somewhere or dinner somewhere, I always like to take a gift, and I normally will try to make a homemade gift and take the beanies. As I said, the labels always say that they're machine washable and dryable. I always tell everybody that I make these for to be on the safe side. I always say wash them in cold and dry them on a cool setting. That way, and the wrappers say anti-peeling, but you may still get some fuzz balls. And if you do, when you're making the beanies, don't fret, you just pull them off. Mostly what the anti-peeling is it is easier to pull the fuzz balls off, and it doesn't. Some yarns, have that fuzzy look to it. And no matter what you do and how you crochet it, it will look fuzzy. And that's okay. That's kind of that yarn signature, I call it. Every yarn is different. And if you see my stash back here that my son bought me this weekend, I was so happy and giddy. I was taking pictures and videos and posting them on YouTube. My cousin, I was sending them to her because I usually share everything that happens with her. I'm working on a beanie for me. And it looks a little loblolly because it is a thicker yarn than what I've been doing. And I've not let it, most of the time it starts turning, and I've kind of kept it flat longer so it will take shape. It is the key lime, and it's called I Love This Yarn. It's having a bad hair day. I love this yarn, and it's Hobby Lobby. 355 yards of gloriousness, and I love it. I love it. It's 100% acrylic, and I am absolutely loving this yarn. And then I'm working on a beanie for him. It's I Love This Yarn by Hobby Lobby. It's 100% acrylic, and it's the colorway Argentine. And it is gorgeous. I mean, it is gorgeous. I had him try it on this morning to make sure, because he's got real thick hair. real thick hair. And I wanted to make sure, and I normally make his larger just so that it fits over his hair. And I've got my little stitch markers in there telling me where, if I needed to ravel it, where I needed to go back to. But, and then this is where I had him to try it on, so that will remind me if I have to ravel any back. But I mean, just look inside at that colorway. It's gorgeous. I grew up in the 70s, so I grew up in the hippie era. You know, the peace sign, the wild colors, peace, love, and all that good stuff. So I love colors, and when I seen that lime color, I flipped. I absolutely flipped. I'm so going to enjoy that beanie when I get it finished. And then I was watching a tutorial yesterday, and so I may have to do it before long. I'm going to try it first and make sure that I can do it before I do a tutorial on it. That'd be terrible, wouldn't it? Do a tutorial on something and it turned absolutely chaos. That would be terrible. So I'm going to work it up first to make sure that I can do it, and that it is as easy as it looked. It was just gorgeous, and I'll name the channel that I was watching it from. They are fighting, and Biggs was upside down, and Sophie she's the tiny one, and she shows no fear. She has no fear. So if you hear yelping, it's more than likely him, because she bites. She bites. I've got places she bites. She's a little stinker. She is such a stinker, and she's right up on top of him. All 4 little feet. So if the camera gets moved, we're not having an earthquake. I promise, in Middle Tennessee. We've had them in the past, but normally here it's Sophie and Big's earthquake. Special shout out to a new friend, 007. Hey, it's me. It's the crazy one you talk to on the phone. But yes, I'm working up this beanie, and I can't wait to get it finished. My son will go to Bible study with them tomorrow night, and he'll be able to take her beanie. Now, how I do mine, a lot of people, you can't tell where I've stopped and started. And I don't use any special stitches. I've watched all kinds of special stitches. What I do is, when I do my last one, and I do my slip stitch into the first stitch, like when I work around the beanie and I get back to that stitch and I'm going to join it with my slip stitch, I pull it so tight, and I showed you that on the video. I pull it so tight that you almost feel like you're going to break your yarn. Don't break your yarn. Please don't break your yarn. But pull it tight, 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 and then pull that slip stitch right through tight, and then do your other 2 stitches for your double crochet. That tightens that up, and you see a line, but it's not an ugly, profound line. Now, I have made them in the past, and they didn't look good at all, and I would go back with a needle and thread and kind of pull them together, just so they didn't look so out of kilter, I guess. That's not a good word, but out of sync or out of line. And I've had them that will gap. You know, you'll have that gap sometimes, even within your stitches. And that happens. Sometimes you'll have a stitch. I made a beanie for a friend this weekend, and it didn't fit his head, so I'm going to have to go back and do it again. That's another important thing. Make it to where that it will give. That's one thing I love about the Morning Java, is it stretches so easily. It doesn't stretch out of proportion but it stretches, and it just has, it holds such a pretty shape. So if you are going to make a beanie for somebody, like my son has a lot of hair. He has really thick hair, and it's long on the top. So what I do is, like I showed you, I done it to a certain point, and then I put my stitch marker there, and so I'll know where to go back to. And so we know right now this fits him perfectly. It's almost a little too loose. So what I'm doing now is at the beginning of my stitches, I'll do a decrease on at least 3 stitches. Then at the end, when I come back around, I will do 2 more decreases. That'll be a total of 5 decreases in this row. And then I'll measure it by the other one I made him after I do a couple of rows, and then I'll know that I'm home free. But his, I usually go larger and I go longer. So I'll have probably 4 to 5 more rows. I'll probably go about this much right there to my knuckle length on his. And that way it'll be long enough for him. It'll fit here, and then it'll go back and fit over his hair. My hair's not thick like it used to be, and so I can wear a standard size now. But yeah, that I've been working on beanies and trying to think of a tutorial. I hopped on yesterday, or I guess it was actually night before last when I first got the yarn, and done the tutorial for the beanie that I posted yesterday. So I've got my days mixed up. I may have posted it this morning. But yeah, I don't know quite yet what we'll do the tutorial on. I'll think of something fun and interesting that we can do. I have not got into amiguramis yet. And I've wanted to order a couple of kits on Amazon of the amiguramis, so I may try that out pretty soon. Somebody on their YouTube channel had posted that their Dollar Tree, which I call the Dollar Quarter Tree, has got the amiguramis kits. So I haven't got to get to the Dollar Tree yet, so I'm hoping maybe to get to go soon and see what they've got. I like to go in there. I need some little fall ornaments for my little tree that I'm working on out for my porch, and then I'll go ahead while I'm there and get a few little Christmas ornaments that I can hang on it. But enjoy your evening. It's gorgeous here. The breezes, we've had breezes, and this morning it was cool. I mean, it felt like fall this morning. And we've had leaves falling since Thursday or Friday. And it's just gorgeous, gorgeous weather. And I hope everybody had a good weekend. Like I said, I got out with my son yesterday. We went out to eat and we went walking, and that was so much fun. And just had a good weekend. Hung out here all day Saturday. Didn't really do much of anything except crochet. That's normally what I do in my spare time, and that's what I've been working on today, trying to catch up. But I don't know if everybody experiences the same thing. There's days that you have the oomph and want to crochet, but then you don't. And a friend of mine and I were talking the other day where we're going in a local thrift store. If we spend as many hours actually doing our projects as we do watching YouTube channels to learn how to do those projects, we'd have a lot of projects done. So there's days I have that oomph that I want to do more crocheting, and I don't. And today's been one of those days that I have hit the floor, so to speak, running. Not running. If you see me running, you'll know there's probably a snake after me. That's probably the only time you're ever going to see me run. But I hit the floor running in my mind that I needed to get a lot of crocheting done today, but I have not. I mean, I don't have this beanie finished. I've got those 2 to finish, and I've got 3 more to go to my cousin that she wanted of the Morning Java, and then I've got a couple more that wanted beanies. So just pray for me. It's some days I just don't get as much done as I need to. And Little Britches here, she, for some reason, the last few days, she's wanted to come and give Nanny loving and say hello. Say hello. Say, see how pretty I am? But they're so precious. We love them so much, and they give me so much excitement. They're a lot of fun. But have a good evening. It's Monday evening in my time zone, in my world. By the time this gets posted, it will probably be Tuesday in your world. So I hope everybody had a wonderful day today, wonderful weekend, and be kind to everybody. Please be kind. It takes just very little to make somebody's, sometimes you're their whole day when you smile or send them a card. I have a couple of people that send me cards, and as soon as I see the envelope before I even open it up, I start smiling. And you know, isn't it wonderful? They just want to let me know they're thinking about me and they're praying for me. And one little girl, she'll send me pictures of her little boys, and they'll usually include a little note. They'll write their little names in there, and that's so precious, and I love that. So it makes my whole day sometimes just to get that card or to get a phone call or a text. And I've got friends that will text me almost daily. Just wanted to say hello, and hoping y'all are doing okay. And they'll usually always ask about the fur babies because they know they're important in our world. And my little cousin, she messages me every day, or I message her, and it's so good to have people like that in your life that you keep in touch with. Just, if nothing else, just to let them know you're thinking about them. And so be kind to everybody. Be kind. And check on friends and family. You know, I told you I was just reminded recently it's very important to check on family. I had my aunt on my mind the other night, and I don't know, I experience it. I don't know if many other people do or not, but sometimes you just have that sadness and you miss people, and you think, well, all I need to do is pick up the phone and call them. And I called her. It was after 8, and I know it's late for her, and I told her, I said, I'm sorry, I won't keep you on here long. I just wanted to say hello and tell you I loved you, and I had you on my mind. And I said, I'm learning now, the older I get, that if I have somebody on my mind, I'm going to text them or call them. And if they don't want to answer me back, they don't have to. You know, I've got family and friends that I may never hear from them for months and months, and then out of the blue, they'll text me, and that's fine. That's fine. But at least they know that I'm thinking of them and that I love them, and they're in my heart and in my prayers. But anyways, have a wonderful rest of the evening, and join me back next time. Please like and subscribe and share my channels. I'm really wanting to do good on this, and I know I haven't had a tutorial much in the last few days. I've just had a couple, but I'll do better. So yeah, just have a good evening and join me back next time. Love to everybody. Peace and be kind. Please be kind. Bye.